Oh my god, the ramparts have made a return. I'm glad we finally have proper ramparts again. See, we are so used to Van getting hyped up every other scene because of his amazing production magic that we've never really had to feel like he's outcasted outside the first episode. But for her whole life, she's never had that praise, right? Do you think the marionette will like swear them in for marriage when they get married? There'll be like a marionette priest or something. Bro, abracadabra. Your Majesty, my ramparts have trusted him. How could I say no to those ramparts? I think he considered hitting the child. He's like, you know, I might backhand him for this disrespect. I love how everyone has the same interaction with these guys. Oh, you want us to forge a sword? Here's Excalibur. I can make 20 by tomorrow. That's brilliant. Fucking love this show, man. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it is a good day to be an Easygoing Territory Defense fan because the ramparts have made their return. But more importantly, let me ask you a question. In all the years watching fantasy isekai anime, how many times have you seen a 8 to 10-year-old child mindfuck a king? It's not often, but you can unironically say that Lord Van did that this week without the help of ramparts at all. You see, this man comes in and he has the most reasonable reactions. He's a king, you gotta respect him. I won't tolerate lying, I won't tolerate deception, be honest with me. He's treating him with as much respect as it could hope to get, given his situation. But at the end of the day, this is still a young kid. Most likely the accomplishments of this city are not because of some 10-year-old child, right? So when asked, okay, this defense is really crazy, surely how did you do this? And he's like, oh yeah, I did it myself. Bitch, I'm gonna backhand you. Like, stop lying. No, I did it. Okay. Even if we were to assume this is just the most naturally gifted kid, this would be years of his work. So he's probably been working on this shit for 4 years, like since he was 6, which, hey, unrealistic, but maybe it's possible. And he's like, yeah, I did that shit 4 months. To see this man's face get progressively more and more just dumbfounded was one of the most glorious things because we quite literally mindfucked the king. Now, we didn't go redo a healer with it, but we did it in probably the funniest way possible. And I think the fact that one of the biggest fears we've had for Lord Van is that if his father ever caught wind of what he's doing, he would just be sent to another place, maybe killed or whatever. And by showing our accomplishments and getting us, like, basically, we are now officially a part of this. We can never move. That's all he wanted. It secures the W after having our way with this man's mind, and you love to see it. Now, of course, though, if you got to start the video, make sure you help show your support, subscribe, ring that bell, drop a like. But if you want to go the extra mile, Patreon for live reactions and exclusives do live over there, so do consider supporting if you enjoy my work. We appreciate it greatly. Now, I'm going to say something bold. This might be one of the coolest swords I have ever seen. Anime, manga, video games, live action, real life. The sword hilt itself is what you expect, but it's the ore that he ends up using. I've seen similar-ish, but there's something with this sword, man, like even up close and personal, the pinkish reddish tinge, it works for me. And I think it's so funny because when the ore gets brought up, these two are basically like, I will sell my left nut for that. We could have it made. And Van just does a little hocus pocus mind trick and immediately gets it. And I think it's fantastic because he did it instinctively, like, oh, I got a new ore, I want to make a sword. And he's like, fuck, I just exposed that I can make swords. In return, my dad catches wind. Listen, yeah, I can do this shit, just let me stay here, no matter what happens. And at face value, that's the easiest thing to agree to. Like, bro, you could go anywhere and be welcome. He doesn't know the full story, but still, it secures our placement. I really like that. As for the characterization moment, this was a really good episode, specifically because of what they did with the town village, and of course, the most likely future fiance of Van, should they pursue it. And we know she has marionette magic, which is similar to Van. It's considered shit. Like, it's useless. Unfortunately, unlike Van's, it's also considered evil. And you understand, I mean, if kings have nearly been assassinated because of weird puppet soldiers trying to assassinate, I understand why a king might ban the magic. The thing that's really funny is the hypocrisy of the whole thing. Any magic could be labeled evil, with just the right spin. Fire magic, it's Satan. You're using the magic of Satan, how dare you? But Brandon, surely light magic could never. Easy. You dare disrespect God and use his magic? No mortal should ever use light magic. Water magic? Oh, you just love drowning people? It's so easy to say anything's bad. Like, some obviously have more negative feelings than others, like blood magic. It's like, listen, I get it, but there's obviously ways you could use that nicely. So her trauma of using this and, you know, just being not only called a failure, but also an evil failure, and seeing this performance of this 3D mannequin, armored up mannequin, and how everyone collectively loved it more and more. Now, she was obviously going to be able to adjust the opinions of the village easier than if she was to go to a different capital and do this. She'd probably get booed, rocks thrown, whatever. This is a place that had a natural, ooh, I thought this is evil, but it's easy to adjust because Van has shown no reason to doubt the people around him, right? And even if for some reason that went on a rampage and tried to kill people, they wouldn't blame Van. They'd be like, hey, Van, you had no idea that this little girl was trying to manipulate you. We all make mistakes. Thankfully, nothing bad happened here because, like any magic, it's probably based on the will of the person. You shouldn't to discriminate completely against a magic. Now, maybe there's just hasn't been enough cases, and all the cases that have been shown show it to do evil things, and maybe that's how it got to that point. But it really just does feel to me that a king out here had a bad experience, banned it, which, hey, reasonable. Nearly get killed because of marionette magic? I get it. But unfortunately, it then makes the lives of anyone with that magic considered not only a failure, but probably the son or daughter of Satan. And that's not cool. The show is actually exceptionally good. It is really great. I think its production value has been strong. I think the background detail especially has been exceptionally well done. I've mentioned this before. I love the way they do clouds and stuff. It honestly reminds me of the Wind Waker art aesthetic, if we're being honest. The character designs have remained clean. And to be honest, we're going to be able to see next week anyway, a repeat with the dragon. Now, different dragon, but the first time we fought a dragon, it kind of pushed our shit in. We've made some upgrades. We're a little more competent. Do I think we're going to defeat it in like 2 seconds? No, only because if they were going to do that, I think they would have done it in this episode. So I think it will be a bit of a fight, but I think it's going to be a night and day difference between round 1, which is going to be great to see. Overall, I like this show. There are, and I say this for a few shows this season, so you probably think, oh, Brandon, you say this about everything anymore. Stuff like Jack of All Trades, that's a Banished Hero show that has a very low rating, and it shouldn't because it's not your average Banished Hero. This isn't your just average self-insert fantasy. This is a very engaging show, and no matter how I explain it, and some people say, oh, but you're always talking about the girl's big tits. I do that for fun. It's an attractive character design. It's an adult character with big titties. But if you honestly think that distracts from the stuff that I actually highlight in terms of writing, that's a you issue, not a me issue. You know, sometimes we gotta call a spade and say, it's not me that's the issue. It is you if a couple of lighthearted humor jokes are enough to distract you. But at the end of the day, if you really strip away all the layers, is it truly a perfect show that does everything right? No. But in terms of what I'm looking for enjoyment-wise, I think it's damn near perfect for what I personally need it to be, even if it may not be as enjoyable for the vast majority of people. But I do think it is obnoxiously low-rated. I think the r/anime, my anime lists of the internet, they don't know what they want and they're not consistent. And they judge things like this before they even try it, and then they refuse to see what it actually is. It kind of reminds me of like people boycotting a game before it comes out. They're like, it's gonna be shit because of A, B, and C bullshit reasons. And then they just, even if it was good, they would refuse to adjust their opinion after trying it. That's what a lot of these shows' fan bases remind me of. But you can let me know your thoughts down below on this week's episode. Definitely one of the strongest for characterization. I thought the King stuff was hilarious. Your thoughts, though, drop a like, share, support, subscribe, ring that bell, and Patreon for live reactions to over there, and other exclusives like Halo to get those video shows to my patrons because they make it all possible over here. All right, so today we got Samuel, Luke Aldwin, Infern24, Atrasta, Bonboro, Richard Lim, Sonatiri, and we also have Stotts21. So I appreciate the support. Please take care. You know, have a good one.